Yes, everybody. We're here I'd say slightly a little bit early. Usually we start at 8, but we're 2 minutes early deliberately. It's like we've got little things that we're taking care of, but it is what it is. And I'm riding solo today simply because Babatunde Ajayi is in training camp now with Anthony Yard. So Tunde's not about, but we've got a couple guests on. We want to go deal with this Tyson Fury Ngannou business that's going on right now. Yeah, I know it's a mad one, isn't it? I'm usually early, but then I got things to eat and all the rest of it. But whereas I know that Tundi wasn't here, and like, yeah, I mean, our guy that handles the rest of the stuff, Manny, he's on another shoot. But it is what it is. Hi, Miss Ringside, MB. He's saying that this event is a disgrace to boxing. Bumper Clark Fury, dream it, believe it, become it. Cocoa butter. Your blood clot fierce and become it. Yeah, please forgive me. I don't swear. Right. So yeah, thanks for you lot joining us. It's going to be a decent show today. Got quite a few people who are going to be jumping in. So as they jump in, yes, Phil answer. I did watch Top Boy, and I thought it was absolutely incredible. It was really, really good. I mean, I don't know how you. If have you watched all of it? I don't want to do no spoilers or anything else, but I thought Top Boy was hard. I really did. I really enjoyed it. Cut off the greens. Big up yourself as well. I don't know if you watched. I don't know if you guys watched Top Boy. Like Phil Answer's asking. I binge watched it Friday night. I got in and I watched the whole show from start to be. And you're absolutely right. It was the worst season. And you know why it was the worst season? Because we've been spoiled. Remember, it's season 3 on Netflix, but it's really in the collective of Top Boy. It is season 4 because we had the original Top Boy that came on. It was on Channel 4, wasn't it? So I'm saying like I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? But no, because it was very like when it's been to like the heights of what it's been at, it's gonna be hard to kind of match it. You know, it was like being sport watching Godfather 1 and 2. And if anyone's got any sense, right, to me, Godfather 2 was better than Godfather 1. Right? And yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when you get like it was a little bit anticlimactic, but it was decent. It was decent. I enjoyed it. It's not the best one so far. I really did enjoy like season 2. I thought season 2 was wicked. So you know what I mean? And but yeah, it is what it is. Yep, Nas A. Yep, rest in peace, Mike Stafford. Yeah, rest in peace to Mike Stafford. Trainer, he trained quite a few guys. He's trainer Adrian Broner. I met him once. He came to the UK, you know, and I met him. Nice guy. On the time where we spoke, so you know, it's not good. What we talking about here? It was actually Lee Bruce was actually speaking about Top Boy. That's what we was doing. I'm just gonna double check where my guests are, so please forgive me. Yes, Silver Fox, big up yourself as well. Tundi's not here today. I've got a couple guests from the UFC world to break down all of this UFC business for me, and I've got to do it. No, Tundi's in fight camp. So, because Tundi's in fight camp, it was 2 weeks now. You got 2 weeks to go till Anti-Yard fights Ricky Summers. It's going to be a winter's night for him, I can tell you that now. So, he's got like 2 weeks. So, he's booming. He's training camp, training mode. You know how Tundi rolls. Alfie Black. Is Fabio still going ahead? Yes, I believe that the Fabio Wardley fight is still going ahead. He did receive a little nick to the left side of his eye. But it was a little nick, and he was bleeding. But I don't think it is that serious, and I pray that isn't that serious anyway. And I hope that this fight does go on because I really do believe that it's going to be a very, very good fight. That is what I believe. Anyway, I got to do this thing solo because I got no one else here to back me. Tundi's not by the screen, and Mandy's not here, so I got to do this thing live. I got to make a phone call right now, so please, my apologies. Da, 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 da. Yep, Rio KD, big up yourself as well. Thanks for joining to the show. Let me just make this phone call. Please forgive me while I'm here, but I have to do what I have to do. Yo, you jumping on the thing? No, all you do is just click the link. Right, you've got the link? Yeah, and just click it. Have I sorted out Bormac with your lawyer? I heard it's a serious thing. Um, he's been introduced to certain people, but I think the Sowlands have got a very, very big person on the case for him. So hopefully they can find something for him to get deported back home to America and let that charge be taken there. Hopefully. We don't know. But it's a big thing. But, you know what I mean? Bomac's pretty cool guy, so I've got a lot of time for him. A lot of time for him. Too blessed as asks, have you ever met Kano Spence? Look at Kano properly. Kano's my family. I know Kano very well. Good guy. Really, really good guy. And he watches the fight is right as well. He's a big boxing fan. I've got a lot of time for Kano. I thought his performance in Top Boy was absolutely excellent. You know what I mean? I did. I thought it was excellent. Anyway, let me try and get you guys' thoughts of the fight. Let me just see now. 1 second. I've got to send a message to Manny right now. Yep. Yeah, I did. Let me see. The WBC, sorry, Mr. Stand Up Guy says the WBC should get clarification on what Fury said and take his belts. What's the clarification that what Fury said? Could you tell me? Because I don't know what he said. I don't know. Mr. Stand Up Guy, could you let me know? Please write back and let us know. What did I think of Wardley Adeleye incident? Um, I weren't too impressed with what happened. Not to the fact of two fighters pushing each other, no big thing. But then somebody else getting involved in it, I didn't like that, to tell you the honest truth. I didn't like that one bit. I think that was a bad reflection on anybody who's got an entourage. I don't think it's a bad reflection on the sport per se. But what I also do realize is that we've been spoilt in heavyweight boxing of having certain men that we could regard as being gentlemen. Certain people like Lennox Lewis. But even though he used to have little tussles every now and then. But we've definitely been spoilt since the coming up of Anthony Joshua, who plays the role of being a gentleman. So I think because we've been spoilt by those things, when we see something that comes out a little bit more different, and egos get blown out of proportion, and you're looking to fight someone, it is what it is. But before the incident happened between David Adeleye and Fabio Wardley, it was David Adeleye was arguing with someone else. I think David Adeleye was just about to do an interview as well, but right beside where Wardley was doing his, and he was arguing with someone. I don't know who he was arguing with, and then he just vented his frustrations out on Wardley. These things happen. It's boxing. He didn't throw no punches or anything else, but these things happen, unfortunately. Uh, 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 I can't get Wardley or Adelaide on today because I've got other people that are looking to jump on right now. Um, Let me just see where they're at right now. 1 second. This is the thing. When I ain't got my right hand man here, Tundi here, and then our other guy ate about as well. This is kind of pissing me off. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it is what it is.
Don't worry, Spence. I'm gonna log him on now. I'm in
Nah,
camp, but I'm here to help you, bro.
it's winding me up, you know.
Don't worry, bro. I'm logging in on and then I'm logging off. I'm in camp, bro. I'm working.
Yeah, big up yourself, Tundi. You see, you get a little cameo role of Tundi.
Come on, later.
Yeah, big up, Tun. Thank you very much. Dave Lowell. Big up yourself, Dave.
Yes, my brother, Dave Lovell, ex-amateur pro fighter, now trainer of the MMA world welterweight champion Leon Edwards. Yeah.
Yeah, talk up a little bit louder. You sound very low, my friend. I don't know. Can you guys hear him all right?
I'm hearing you
Come
good.
on.
Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Spence?
yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, but you're talking very low, and I don't know why you're talking low. Because like
Okay.
the last time, the last two times that I see you on TV, your man's big, bro. You know what I mean?
All right.
Come on, Leon. Come on, Leon. One for your man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
therefore,
yeah.
right.
In the moment, bro. In the moment, you know.
Exactly. There's someone just said, yeah, the volume was low, but now you're speaking a bit louder. That's kind of cool. No, Dave, you've done some great things with Leon Edwards, man. I mean, I got to give you all the ratings in the world for that one, you know?
Thank you, brother.
You know what I mean? What's next for Leon right now?
Well, we was to fight Colby in November the 11th on the John Jones bill at Madison Square Gardens, yeah? But apparently there's politics between Colby and John Jones, and John Jones said he don't want him nowhere around him. This argument between them stems back a couple of years from when they used to be, I think it was American Top Team Wrestling. I don't know what happened personally between them, but it was deep enough that Jones threatened to, do him over if he saw him. So he's having nothing to do with Colby, and he said he doesn't want him eating no food off his table on the Madison Square Gardens card because he's topping the bill. So the UFC then have put it back to October now in Vegas. So that will be Leon's next fight date. Yeah.
Okay. And everything's going good with him right now. You've done some fantastic work. It's like when he became world champion, that motivational talk that you gave to him, it went viral. You know what I mean? Was that something you practiced, or was it just you just talking coming from your heart?
That came from my heart, bro. It came from my heart. You see, a lot of people don't understand. It's a bit more of a deeper relationship than just, trainer fighter. This guy grew up with my sons, so I look at him and his brother like my sons, and I treat them like my sons. So yeah, it runs a little bit deeper than that still, Spence. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that was a boom win. But then to go and repeat the win, but then change up the whole game plan, and it was you kind of boxing smart in that one. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, stick and move, side to side movement, lateral movement. It's a big thing. It's a very, very big thing.
Yeah. Well, along with other coaches that are involved as well. I mean, he's got a Muay Thai coach, Henry Clemenson, deserves big creds as well. We collaborated together, set a game plan, and the game plan went down. And yeah, the rest is history, bro. But let's not forget he's got his brother now. Next couple of weeks, we fly out, not this Tuesday after, to Dublin. He's fighting for the world middleweight BAMMA Sorry, take that back. Bellator world
Bellator.
title. Yeah, so if he wins that, God willing, we're going to have two brothers in the two biggest MMA organizations in the world. Leon, obviously, welterweight champion in the UFC, and soon to be Fabian Edwards, Bellator middleweight world champion. God willing.
It's never been done before, has it?
No, it hasn't. And I mean, for two brothers, I mean, apart from the Diaz brothers, if you know of them in the UFC, that was the real only brother connection that was making a lot of noise. But they're fading out now, coming to the end of their days, with all due respect. And Leon and his brother, the new young dogs on the block.
Okay. So I'm getting a lot of questions in there, yeah. Yes, James
Okay.
Morrison, thank you for the 449. Tell Uncle Dave I said big up. He's a real humble older. Trust me, good to see him on the show. He knows who it is. Headshots. All right, big up, bro. That's James Morrison. But, no, thank you.
Thank you.
You're the first one to start blessing the thing, so thank you very much. I'm going to say this, like, you got this Tyson Fury fight coming up right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Against Ngannou, yeah? And
Yeah.
Ngannou's 17 and 3 in the UFC, and he's left the
Yeah.
UFC
Yeah.
to follow his own thing. Like, I've seen, like, it says in the Guinness Book of Records that he's the hardest puncher. I'm trying to work this out. How do they gauge it to say that he's the hardest puncher?
I don't really know how they gauge that shit, but they're always going to come up with something to make a bit of change out of it, whether it's nonsense talking about who's got the hardest punch. But it is what it is. But with Ngannou, listen, he's trying to cut a path for himself. He was in the UFC, and he was going to be the next biggest heavyweight superstar. But obviously, through politics, money, as you know, runs the show at the end of the day, and then it's professional sport. And there was big politics between him and the UFC. So he decided to, try a thing. And, it's worked out for him because he's now sealed a fight with Tyson Fury for X amount of millions of dollars should he come off. He's set, bro. So, fair play to the brother still. Yeah, I love to see those things still.
Yeah, how do you think he could fight Tyson Fury? Because, like, if
What?
you know anything about Ngannou's background, originally he started boxing first, you know that?
That's right. Yes, he did.
Right.
He done a bit of boxing before he done UFC, and he worked in the I think not. It wasn't some kind of quarry. It was rock breaking quarry, like cutting rock as a youth, and grew up to him. That's why you see he's got the muscular body that he has. And then obviously through one reason or other, he cut loose from Nigeria, made his way over to the side of the woods, America, and made a name for himself as a fighter. And then he grabbed onto the UFC because in his first few, it was his hands that he was using to blow his opponent's face. A few times engaged or form of kicking, and it was about hands and then to pick to let that power shot. Yeah, he just got bigger.
You know what? We're kind of losing you a little bit here. We're
Yeah,
kind of losing you a little bit. Yeah. Well, you sound good now. Yes. Thank you,
yeah.
Carlos, for the five.
Are you?
Yeah. Thank you, Carlos, for the 5.99. Don't let him bully you, son. Was a profound statement in
Yeah,
the last round. Coach Dave speaking like a father to a son to become a man at that moment. Yeah. You did, yeah, you did. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
be real, because like that went viral, but that
yeah.
was a very,
Yeah, man.
very motivational thing within itself. It was very powerful, very powerful. How did you feel after like
It
Leon
was
becoming
well.
world champion? Leon becoming world champion, but also the accolade that came to you after that fight. How did that feel?
Yeah, well, I just took it in my stride. I'm not one of these guys on the jump up in the camera every 5 minutes and shout blah blah blah. Listen, I'm an old seasoned dog in the game a long time, and I've had my time. Was much started late, but it's about my fighters. It's about them. Glorify them in the greatness what they've done, the hard work put in. So yeah,
Mm.
I want to shine them rather than trying to grab any kind of limelight. That's not me, bro. No, all my
Okay.
boys know our roles still. You know what I mean, Spence?
Okay. So what are the chances of Ngannou beating Tyson Fury? Because you used to box before you went into this UFC thing. So like, what's your chances of what chances do you give Francis Ngannou of beating Tyson Fury? Yeah, it looks like we've lost you there, my
Well,
friend.
I'm gonna be real with you. Fam. Bro. You got me, Spence.
Yeah, I've got you now.
You got
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I've got you.
Can you hear me, Spence?
I can hear you loud and clear now.
Okay. Yeah. As I was, yeah.
Not good connection here, Dave.
Yeah. As I was saying to you, Ngannou's got a puncher's chance because anybody he hits, they're gonna go, bro. He's gonna. But Fury, I think if it goes more than 3 rounds or so, then obviously Fury's boxing experience, boxing brain will come into play, and he will finish Ngannou.
Yeah. Okay.
You got
Because
me, Spence?
like I'm looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I said I'm looking. I'm saying to myself like, while they hit Fury proper, and he went over, and the brother got up, and I don't believe that Francis Ngannou hits as hard as Deontay Wilder, and not only that, but Deontay Wilder is actually a boxer, even though sometimes he's so eager to try and knock out people that his technical prowess doesn't pay it much respect. But if the brother licks you, you're gone. Big up my mastery. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he hits you, you're gone.
I can't. Yeah, well, I care to differ on that, Spence. Yeah, I care to differ on that, bro, because as you know,
Well, you think he hits harder than you think he hits harder than you think that Francis Ngannou?
He's not really a big heavy, Well, I'm just stipulating a few points that Wilder is not a big heavyweight; he's a small heavyweight. Really, he's a cruiserweight who's moved into the heavyweight division because the money.
We're losing you, Dave. We're losing you, my brother. Yeah, Ton. Yeah, let's let Joe in. Let's let Joe in. Yeah, Dave. Unfortunately, we can't. It's like old people on Wi-Fi. But Joe, if you could unmute your mic. Your mic's on mute, Joe.
Got your Spence.
Right, top man. Joe Long is the founder of UFC Gyms UK. And I just said, I'm just going to pull out all the stops because we got Dave on here as well, but Dave's Wi-Fi is a bit dodgy. But what I'm saying, Joe, we were just talking about what chance do we give Francis Ngannou against Tyson Fury, if any?
Hey, Spence, first of all, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be on. And
man. You're my guy.
I know. But I was really enjoying the bit what Dave was just getting to about, the strength of Francis. And
what, is he that strong? Because you guys are UFC guys, so I'm breaking the mold because I hate UFC. But I'm saying I have to. But I like certain fighters in UFC.
Without talking on Dave's behalf, I think we're all combat sports fans. Full stop. It's not a case of UFC or boxing or, Muay Thai, this or that. We're combat sports fans, and me personally, I think Tyson wins it. I think he plays with him. However, it's heavyweight boxing, and we all know what happens in heavyweight boxing. And I've got to agree with Dave in terms of the strength of Ngannou compared to
Wilder.
it's actually documented that Ngannou has got the heaviest and strongest punch in the world.
Yeah, but how? Wait, one second. How is that coagulated? That's what I want to know. When man say like, "Oh, Ngannou's got the hardest punch in the world," listen, man, I see Andy Yard thump that punch machine and nearly mash up the thing. So, how is that?
I believe he punched the same machine as Ngannou, and Ngannou was, worlds apart.
What? Oh, so it was like them punch machine things, yeah?
No, not just a punch machine, which is what you get in a pub or a sports bar. We're talking about there's a certain punch machine which is actually in Performance Institute in UFC in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And that specific machine, the hardest punch recorded on it from any athlete, any person in the world is Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is like, if a boxer was to go on it, that's in Dana White's facility, right?
No, that piece of machinery is worldwide in many different facilities. So
yeah,
I'm just saying that if he hits him on the chin, he will go. And the awkwardness you was talking about when Wilder hit Fury, he went over. Yes, of course he got up, and it was amazing how he got up. We all know that. I don't think none of us will forget that moment when he rose
3 times.
None of us will forget that moment. However, the awkwardness as well of Wilder, Ngannou is going to be very awkward, right? He's not going to be, your orthodox boxing guy. He's going to be awkward. So, listen, I've got Fury all day long. I've got to say I've got it all day long. They're two different sports. You put Tyson Fury in an octagon. I've got Francis Ngannou all day long. But do not underestimate the power of that man.
Yeah, no, because you know what? I was watching his fight with Overeem because we had the Overeem on a few years ago,
right?
And the way he lifted him up with that uppercut, that was horrible.
And you've seen the size. I think you've seen Alistair at our shows at Semi. You've seen the size.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy.
He's a unit.
And that uppercut come from nowhere, and as you say, took him off of his feet. And for a punch to take Overeem off of his feet,
So, like, over the years, right? Because I know you've been heavily involved in UFC. A lot of people don't know that Joe Long was Dylan White's first manager when Dylan White first turned professional. He used to deal with Dylan White when he used to do kickboxing as well. Mm-hmm. Joe knows a lot of combat sport, but Joe, he knows his boxing hard. I've known Joe for years, since like 89, Colin McMillan days. So it's been a little while. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Leah O has just sent in $4.99, so thank you very much, Leah O. Ngannou has the world record for generating the most. Oh, thank you for putting that on. That's Tundi that put it out for me. Oh, big up us, big up Tundi. Even working when you're not meant to be working, but I love you for that, my bro. Says Ngannou has the world record for generating the most power in a punch. 121,169 units of power cube. He definitely has a shot. That's very intense punching power.
And let me tell you something, Spence, on that piece of machinery. That piece of machinery, ironically, launched at the Senny show with us at a show you was at in 2016 at the O2 when we done the Bellator show when Michael Page fought Cyborg and it went viral that night. That piece of machinery actually launched at our show and went worldwide. Today it sits in the UFC Performance Institute, but it also sits in a lot of facilities around the world, including a number of UFC gyms. It's not a UFC piece of equipment or anything like that, but it's measured many people. At the show we had at Senny, the hardest hit of that weekend was Eddie Hall back in 2016, world's strongest man. And I'm 90% positive Joshua has hit that piece of machinery. Maybe you can find out if he has. But
Anthony Joshua, I don't know if he has.
No, but I'm saying it'd be good. It'd be good to find out if he has. But hitting something which is still in front of you, as we both know, it's different to something that's moving around and got the fighting IQ, which we haven't seen in many years, in Tyson Fury.
Okay, Drew Alexander has just said that Joe Rogan broke Francis Ngannou's power Q record with a kick, but we're not judging his kicking capabilities. And if you know anything, the legs are the strongest part of the body. So therefore, that don't really count. That he can, I most probably could kick harder than Francis Ngannou. So, but as a punch, the guy can punch. If you go watch his fights, he can whack. I'll give him that, right?
I think that the measurement of that is probably out there on YouTube as well somewhere. You know, somewhere
on with you partnering with UFC UK, right? For the gyms.
UFC gym.
Yeah, Joe Long he's the founder of UFC UK gyms. So when you see them gyms, like, you'll speak to the guy that runs all of that. That's his, right?
It's not just me. It's me, Michael Bisping, and we've got 2 other amazing partners in it as well. You know,
but
coming from a franchising background.
I don't know them, man, so I can't big up them. Even though I know Michael Bisping.
You know Bisping.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying, like, is that also with Dana White as well? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. UFC Gym launched in America around about 10 years ago. And you know, there's 100 plus UFC gyms in America. UFC Gym globally is owned by UFC Gym and another company called New Evolution Ventures by a gentleman called Mark Mastrov, who was one of the owners of the Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
One of the biggest names in the leisure industry. He owned 24 Hour Fitness and sold it for X billion, you know, back in the day. Was a big UFC fan and spoke to Dana and the Fertitta brothers, and they decided to launch UFC Gym after, you know, Mark had a non-compete clause for a few years in the leisure industry. And when we announced in 2018, we was the first gym in Europe, which is still running in Nottingham. We was the 13th territory globally to launch in the UK, and now UFC Gym is in 42 territories around the world.
Wow, so that's big, man.
Yeah, it's very big, and you know, and I feel blessed that, you know, I got myself into a position through working over the years with different athletes, talent, and obviously promotions that I was able to partner with Michael Bisping, and you know, we got the rights for the UK with other investors, and it's been a tough road because obviously we opened in 2019 November and closed in for COVID in March 2020. So it's been a rough ride, but we're still here for the grace of God, and you know, we just announced our first London site in City Road, which will hopefully be opening at the end of this year or beginning of next year.
Okay, let me just give a shout out to Graph Dog, Yash, The Knowledge, Toxdev Liverpool. Yeah, tuned in on the channel live. Big up yourself. Big up all my man them in Toxted. Big up all my Liverpudlians. You know what I mean? Big up yourself. Yes. Yeah. What one is this like, Joe? Because I saw a really good question there. Let me just find it. If I could go back and find it. Yes, it was Fight Fan TV live. Big up Danny Glover. And he says, who had the record before Ngannou broke the record? So if Eddie Hall had the record before, then Wilder, AJ, and White, or a prime Mike Tyson and the prime Bruno, etc., definitely ain't hit that machine. And what have you got to say about that, Mr. Long?
Let's find out. I've got a feeling AJ and Wilder's hit it. I've got a feeling, but let's find out.
Well, maybe you know something that you don't want to bring out.
I'm being real with you, Spence. I'm being 100% open.
Come on, Joe.
I don't know that they have, but I'm saying it would not surprise me because that machine. You know, when you know something within the industry and you know something's travelled and it's done the miles. Like,
yeah.
You know when there's a new piece of kit out, you know, within the boxing industry, you'll know that it's been around 101 gyms before it's got released.
Yeah, definitely 100.
Yeah. Right, I'll give you a prime example, like the weighted skipping ropes back in the day. You know, they went around every gym before they launched. Yeah, every man and his dog had that weighted skipping rope, and then all of a sudden it was a big thing.
Yep.
I'm saying, genuinely, it wouldn't surprise me if one of them guys have hit it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I hear you on that one, mate.
And,
I hear you
I'm sitting here as a combat sports fan saying that I think Tyson will play with him. I'm not saying that Ngannou's going to walk through him, but I'm saying if he gets a clean shot on his chin, he's going to go down the same way, if worse, than Wilder.
I hear
And
that.
that's what for me makes this bout exciting, even though there's certain people saying they're not going to watch it.
Yeah, I see a funny one up here. So some guys just put in here. Cab C says, "Go on, Spence. You and Tundi are doing an amazing job. How comes we never see you and Sully at the same place at the same time?" Aha! This you're a funny guy. Yeah, what? Have you watched Top Boy yet?
Who, me?
Yeah, have you watched it?
Well, being as Kane's from East London, it'd be wrong of me not to watch it.
Yeah, from your end.
And yeah, of course I've watched it, yeah.
Nah, bro, you know what? There's a line in it, yeah, when he goes to Jax and his face gets serious. He goes, "Look, don't beg. It's disgusting." That line there is the baddest line in the whole of the blasted thing. I just want everyone to know that line is a bad boy line. Don't beg. It's disgusting. Right?
Well, it's funny you say that, Spence. I think on Friday, was it Friday? On Friday, our PR girl, who does not PR girl, she's a woman.
Yeah.
I think you may know her, Emma Mackerson.
Yeah, I know Emma.
Emma's done stuff in boxing. She was talking to the whole group on message, and every other message was say less, say less.
Yeah.
And it was just a running joke on Friday in the office, and everyone was having the top boy banter. But yeah,
listen, man, I'm telling you, like that was a big boy show. That I enjoyed it. I binge watched it on Friday. I must have got in about 10 o'clock. So I went from 10 all the way through right till crack of morning and watched a whole lot of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not even once. You know what? I've done that on a couple shows where I just binge watch them. Yeah, but I usually wait for when they lose their popularity. But on this, it was just there. I was like, let me just watch it, and I binge watched it, and I was like, yeah, that's my show. You know what I mean? That's my show.
Yeah, I caught it on late Thursday and late Friday as well. After I put the grandkids to bed on Friday, I stayed up and watched it. But it's funny because I was supposed to be at an event last Sunday with like Colin Francis and like Kane I think Kane was along there with like his cousin Johnny Fortune, and I can imagine how harassed he must have been because obviously everybody knew it was.
Bro, listen to me, man. He came to my mom's funeral, yeah, and everyone was like, "Raw, like Sully's here," you know. I was like, Mr. Robinson, I have to big up Kano still. I mean, like, yeah, he's gonna blow as an actor. You know what I mean? He's gonna blow. You know what I mean? He's blown already with this. He's gonna blow. But big up Ashley Waters as well. Ashley's my guy. Ashley used to go to my school. You know what I mean?
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, Ashley used to go to my school.
I
was years above him.
I'm gonna give you one better than that, Spence. He actually was in theatre with my stepson about 30 years ago.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, so his mum and my wife was very good friends back in the day.
Yeah.
And both actually my eldest stepson went to school with each other and was in theatre together.
Yeah, I know. It's mad. It's because like, you know, when it's a small world, it's like my cousins have a sound system, right? So Enforcer sound. My cousin Owen and Donald, my two cousins, they had a sound system called Enforcer Sound. Enforcer from Cowley in Brixton. That's where the sound was. And like in the group, like you always have like your other guys who were in the crew. So you know what I mean, Ashley's uncle, his name's Owen Case. So Owen Case kind of raised me because he was in the clique. They were older than me, they were like 10 years above me and that. But so I know Ashley's mum really well, Debbie, who was incredible lady, really, really nice lady. So when we've seen all of those kind of things, and they went to my school and blah, so we've always kept our eye on him from when he used to be in Grange Hall. So to see like what he's done now, we're like, yeah. But I enjoyed Top Boy. It was a bit anticlimactic. We were speaking about it to like a couple people earlier. Like it was that kind of but it was still an enjoyable watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And lots of twists. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was an enjoyable watch. But the twists and the turns, because you're just waiting for the worst, and nah, this guy's got to die or that guy. So nothing went no big surprise, but it's a really good show, man. I enjoyed it. And I want to see more of these little dramas coming out involving the inner city. You know what I mean? Because I really did. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah,
But going back to this UFC stuff and that, people don't know, if you don't know, but Joe was the person that got Dylan White, turned him over professional. And how many fights you work with him? I think it's his first 11, yeah?
It wasn't just me, Spence. It was a group of us. But yeah, I was there. You could say I was the main person. It was me. There was. What I will say is that there's a lot of wrong narrative about the beginning of Dylan White's career.
What can you put us clear with? You say a lot of wrong narrative. What are the things that are wrong?
In terms of he had no support and he done it all himself. He had an amazing team behind him.
Okay.
And that's not bigging myself up. There was myself. There was Chris Oko. There was
former Commonwealth cruiserweight champion.
Right. There was Julian Howe, who come from his Thai boxing club, Red Dragons.
World champion kickboxer Julian.
And Thai boxing. Leon Waters, world karate champion. And he had a lot of support and love from people around him and people within the martial arts community and then boxing community. So, the narrative, what I'm saying is that he had no support and he done it all himself. It is, so far from the truth.
Okay.
However, as a group, yeah, we took him, myself, Chris, and Jesus. I'm getting old, Spence.
Why?
I'm forgetting one important person here as well.
Who's that?
And my brain's gone with a name, and that's really bad. Trainer.
Leroy Harris.
Leroy Harris, thank you. And Leroy Harris, I can't forget Leroy because Leroy. So Julian Howe's club is Red Dragons Thai Boxing Club. Leroy used to go and do the handwork. He used to do the pad work in the squash courts in Flaxman's.
Okay.
And that's where Dillian and Leroy met. Him doing the pad work there.
Okay.
And then Leroy told Julian was his coach. Leroy told Chris come to Flaxman's, and that's how the whole story started.
Wow.
So there's the triangle right there. And Leon Waters, if none of you know, was a world karate champion, and also was at the time getting into K1, on a national and European level. And he was Dillian's main sparring partner down at Flaxman's, down at Red Dragons.
Okay.
And basically, Leon used to give Dillian hand-me-down gloves and hand-me-down, promo T-shirts and hoodies and bring Dillian under his wing to help him in his progression. Because at that time, Leon also worked as a mentor with youth in the inner city. So Leon could see what roads Dylan had come from and wanted to help steer him off them roads.
Okay.
Which we did collectively, and that's where it all started. And he got he got doing his pad work with Leroy, and then crossed over to pro, and we created a team around Dillian, and we got Dillian to 10-0, and then unfortunately I parted ways with Dillian after his first drug ban, which was at the time we actually got the news of the first drug ban on the way to the press conference for the English title with John McDermott.
Okay.
We was actually 10 minutes away from the press conference on Sky Sports, Spence, when we got the phone call. So we had to walk into the press conference until Frank Maloney at the time, when he had when he was Frank,
Yep.
what had happened, and he weren't best pleased, as you can imagine.
Yep. Yep.
With David Price topping the bill at them times. So we got up to that point. We got up to 10-0, and then unfortunately.
So what do you make of this latest episode with Dylan, and what's happened with like why his fight got cancelled against him and Anthony Joshua?
To be honest, Spence, it's none of my business. I'm in the UFC gym business now. It's none of my business. What I would say on it is that I hope he's innocent, and
Okay.
I hope he comes through it, and I hope it's a positive outcome for him, because if it's not, then I believe that could be the end of Dillian White's career, unfortunately. And I don't think it would do him very good mentally for that to be the end of his career.
Okay, so we're still talking about heavyweights, and we're kind of sticking with heavyweights. What did you make of the fracas that happened the other day with David Adeleye and Fabio Wardley?
I thought Eamon's getting real slow, because I used to see Eamon up front, but Eamon was 2 steps behind.
So you're talking about Eamon who works. I don't even know what Eamon's role is. I don't know.
Yeah,
but he's always with Dylan. He's in the camp with him.
Eamon's been around for years and very very seasoned when it comes to security.
I know. I know. He used to run all the dots.
What did I think of it? I don't like to see it. I don't like to see it for the sport. Obviously, it's going to make people talk. I don't like to see it, and I don't think it was needed. But we see who the aggressor was, right?
Yeah, it was. I'm going to keep this thing 100. I like David Adeleye. He's been on the show a couple of times. Him and Fraser Clark had a back-to-back going at each other, which was very, very funny on our show. But what I am going to say is this: when I saw David Adeleye, and like it was all hyped and everything else and blah, and like for a big guy, he actually behaves like he got short man syndrome. I'm just keeping it real, because he's a big 6'4" guy. He's a big guy. He's not little, right? But he behaves like he's got short man syndrome. But he's actually a nice kid. I'm gonna be real with you. He's a nice kid. Like, a lot of people been slagging him off on the internet, saying, "Oh, he's a disgrace. He's a prick." I'm seeing a lot of guys who are saying this, like guys in the industry saying, "Oh, he's a prick." But I know it's the guys in the industry. They're in the industry, but they've never participated in boxing. So you could say someone's a prick who you want. Remember, like, you're going to fight, and you could be fighting someone, and animosities are going to be high, and certain people don't know how to convey that. They don't, and if gonna come out, what do you expect? You got two heavyweight guys, and they're not. They're in proximity of each other where they should not have been in proximity of each other, right?
Yeah,
but they were in proximity of each other.
That was badly managed, right?
Of course, that whole situation was badly managed. But I'm also gonna say I'm not blaming Fabio Wardley for anything. I don't think he did anything wrong.
No, he didn't. No.
Right.
He just responded and said what, right? As anybody would.
Yeah, exactly. And when he did respond, then it went pear-shaped. You know what I mean? It went pear-shaped. But the major thing is nobody was seriously hurt, and I'm still looking forward to that fight, because I think it'd be a very, very good fight. I think it's a very entertaining fight. I think it's a juicy fight. Who have you got winning that fight, Joe?
It's a good one. Until seeing that, I would actually say Wardley, because I think Wardley is very composed and very calculated. But seeing that incident, I'm not too sure now. I'm not too sure. Adeleye to me was very aggressive. you know, whether he maintains that certain energy when he comes into the fight, because I know there's been a couple of bouts where he hasn't kept that energy, if you like, in the ring.
Yeah, but you know what? He's good though. You know, I got to give him his dues. I saw him against. I was there. I was there live for his fight against Nathan Gordon.
If he maintains that energy, then I'm actually going with him from.
Okay, no, I'm saying it's a good fight simply because he's had no amateur experience. He boxed white collar fights, right? He didn't have no amateur experience at all. And look what he's done. He's become British champ. He's unbeaten. He's beaten a former world title challenger in Eric Molina. I've got to give him his credit for that as well, even though Eric Molina was like he just turned up to get punched up. But I've got to give him his dues for that. But his Nathan Gorman win, he was very impressive in that fight. Like Nathan Gorman tried to take his school and did take his school in the first round, and he just stuck it on him.
Was that in fight camp, that one?
No, I think that was on the AJ undercard, I think.
Was it? Okay.
I think it was, I think it was on the AJ.
I do remember that bout, and he made that fight look fairly simple, right?
Yeah. Bobby Wright saying he's like, it's a running joke here. He's 100-0 on the streets. That's what David Adeleye said when he was on the show. Like he said, have you been? He said, we talking about I'm 100-0 on the streets. Like, yeah, I can have it. So he's showing you that he's a street kid anyway. But I'm like I said,
just exactly the same as Dillian is and was. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing, same mentality. But I understand then Fabio Wardley isn't afraid to come forward outside of the gym either. So, you know.
Okay, but you know what? It's quite different. Where's he from? Twickenham, Ipswich, one of them places there, right?
Right? Ipswich, I believe.
He's the Ipswich kid, right? So Ipswich. You know what I mean? I don't quake when I hear, I'm the toughest guy in Ipswich. I think I could take over Ipswich right now with this bowl right here, right? I'm trying to I'm not, man, there's no disrespect, but I'm not saying like Ipswich ain't no, but I'm just saying. But am I really going to say that David Adeleye is about that? I hope they'll save it to the ring simply because what happened there the other day, more people are talking about that than Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou, two men very, very respectful of each other, knowing like they might as well call this fight a friggin' exhibition. The way these two were just glorifying each other and all the rest of it, that didn't really make me salivate to say, I want to go and see that fight. It's a spectrum because it's a spectacle. It's a spectacle simply because it's out in Saudi Arabia. Skill challenge entertainment. I put the money up. They're getting. I mean, Francis Ngannou's highest purse in the UFC. I'm not speaking ill against your business partner in Dana White. Was $650,000. He's getting $8 million for this fight here, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm saying good on Francis Ngannou for backing yourself, because that's what he did. He actually backed himself like, to hell with this. I'm gonna go, and he's found something massively major to go and do.
I've got a question for you, Spence, on that.
Go on, then, mate.
Not that I'm going to talk on, UFC pay and this, that, the other.
All right.
When and if Francis Ngannou loses this fight,
yep,
where does he go? We know he's got a PFL deal with mixed martial arts. Okay, but
where is PFL? Is that based in Saudi as well?
No, it's global, but it's not based in Saudi.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, when he gets that big payday,
yeah,
a lot of people have had amazing paydays. What happens after that? What happens after that?
Well, you know what? Coming from where he's come from,
he's done amazing. Don't get me wrong. Amazing. I'm just saying, where do you go from there?
It depends. It depends.
My take on it is that there was politics and friction with him. UFC and him have gone their own way. Whatever. But where does he go after that fight?
You know what? Very good question. And I'm going to say this to you. It doesn't matter as long as he puts in a decent performance. If he can put in a decent performance, and people say, "Wow, you know what? You got your arse in, but you stuck it on Tyson Fury, right? You stuck it on Tyson. As long as he doesn't mug himself off, because I'm gonna be real, the UFC is so interchangeable. What the UFC is like boxing in the 1800s, where you never had a real dominant champion until Jack Johnson became heavyweight champion in, what was that, 1909, right? December 26th, right?
Yeah.
We never had a real dominant guy who was a champion.
That's why you
Like,
call
it was
them
very interchangeable. And that's what I see with the UFC. With UFC, it's very interchangeable. Like, you're the guy, who's the guy that got beat yesterday?
Adesanya.
Adesanya, right?
Mhm.
Adesanya is meant to be the face of UFC,
Yeah.
right? And he just got his ass in yesterday.
But Spence, come on, he has been for a very long period. You know, took a loss, won his title back, and then bounced back again with this person. And yeah, he's took a loss. But
Yeah.
you know, he's been in the driving seat for quite a good number of years now. You
It's
know,
like 4 years, 5 years.
yeah, come on, like
Yeah, he's all right then. Yeah, he's all right. Yeah.
So you know, and we know that the mixed martial arts is more vulnerable to a knockout or an exciting change in a fight than boxing is, and this we're talking about heavyweight boxing. A lot more things can change very quickly in MMA than boxing.
Yeah, very true.
Would you agree that?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
Mr. Black Gold, thank you for the £5. Next one. Ngannou has a 2-fight, $20 million deal with the PFL.
Yes.
Added to the money that he'll make for the fight, that's more than 3 UFC careers. Don't be the company man. All right, right. That's what I'm saying.
I won't go there.
Right. Come on, don't be the company man, because you say anything ill now, you know that he listens to everything. Dana White be on your phone straight away. Hey Joe, what you doing, Joe? What you doing, Joe? Yeah. And he's got powerful friends, man. He's a big Trump man. He get you deported.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I'm in Essex. What I'm saying, Spence, is there's obviously there's a disagreement there with their careers. In my opinion, if he would have stuck with the UFC, he could have made that sort of money. You know, the UFC gives an amazing platform for people to do stuff outside of the octagon as well. You know, you're not going to get no bigger platform. You know, let's look at the careers of many people who have earned X amount of money outside of the octagon as well as inside of the octagon because the platform they give. The PFL, don't get me wrong, PFL deal is amazing, but is that going to give them the platform to go out and do other stuff?
I hear what you're saying, Joe, but you're playing the company man.
I'm not playing the company man. Listen, you do what you do, and you've done what you've done within sports management, right? Yeah. And when you put a deck on the table, and them numbers don't lie. Yeah. The numbers don't lie when you put the deck on the table, including the money what people have been paid. But the numbers and the eyeballs for UFC far outweigh any other promotion globally, as we all know. And
you know what? I've been to UFC fights.
And how you manage that and your management team manage that outside the octagon is very important, right? And if we're honest, you know, Francis Ngannou, listen, I've spent some time with Francis. I spent some time with Francis in Vegas at a UFC gym summit, being the company man. How about that one? And he's a lovely guy, but he's not the most charismatic guy in the world. And
I know he's not. I know he's not. I'm talking about the press conference with Tyson Fury.
I'm sure if you put him in a room with in a boardroom and said, we've got this sponsorship deal with this man, Francis Ngannou, you know, do you want to put X amount of money on the table when he's going to do A, B, and C? What they'd be, the check they'd be willing to write out, and you put Fury in a room and said, we got this guy who talks like this in a room.
Yeah, it's different. But the thing about it is this: would it surprise you if Francis Ngannou was to knock Tyson Fury out?
It wouldn't surprise me.
And if he was to knock him out, would he have to do it early?
It was late with Wilder, wasn't it? But how long's this fight? I heard it's only 8 rounds, right? Is it 8 rounds?
Nah, I think it's 10 rounder.
Is it 10 rounds?
Yeah, they could never make that 8 rounds.
I heard that it got reduced.
You know what? I can't keep up with this thing, to tell you the honest truth. And the reason why, I'm going to just be totally honest, this fight,
it'd be nice to know if anyone that's listening is it 8 or 10 rounds?
because this fight hasn't.
The Wilder thing was late on in the fight, wasn't it? It was the last round.
Okay, well, it's
The
a 10.
Wilder
Yeah,
knockout.
two blessings say it's a 10 rounder. It's a 10 rounder, not a 12 rounder. It's a 10 rounder fight.
It's 10 rounds.
I'm not. I don't know. This fight hasn't caught my imagination at all. It hasn't. But when it comes up, I am gonna watch it. I don't care after because it's like Car Crash TV. You want to watch just to see. It's like
watch it, right? You got to watch it.
Watching it. Yeah.
You're a combat sports fan. Why would you not watch it? I don't get the people that are saying I'm not gonna watch it. You know, no. You know, there's a few people out there what have documented they're not watching it. I don't. You know, what are you trying? Maybe you're trying to gain a few headlines by saying that.
I don't know, but that's their business. But I know
I don't know. What I'm saying is, if you're a combat sports fan, surely you've got to watch it to see the outcome and see what happens.
Yep. Well, you know what? I'm definitely watching it. That is 1,000,000%.
Maybe you'll get excited on after the weigh-ins, and I know I'll definitely be tuning in. I've got Fury all day long. What I would say, Spence, I don't think you know the way that Fury like old man's people on the ropes.
Yeah.
And puts his body weight on them. I don't see him doing that with Ngannou.
Why you think Ngannou's that strong?
Yeah, and I think from a grappling perspective, he'd be able to spin Fury. So I don't think that Tyson will be able to old man him on the ropes and sort of hold him, and put his weight on him on the ropes. That's my take on it.
You know what? It's like Ngannou's being trained by Mike Tyson for this fight. I don't know if it's a publicity stunt or whatever, or blah 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 or whatever. I mean, I don't know. But what I do know is that he'll come to fight.
Spence, you could get Linford Christie training me for the 100 meters, mate. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be, someone that was a 100-meter athlete, in the next 3 months. It's not going to happen.
Yep, I hear that. And on that note, we've hit the 9 o'clock mark. So
thanks for having me on, brother.
No, man, it's a blessing. Thank you very much, Joe Long, who is one of the directors of UFC Gyms UK. Yeah, I mean, Joe's rich, man. You want to give me some money, Joe, right? So I'll leave it at Joe. Leave it at. You're rolling in it, mate.
Yeah,
but no, thank you so much for joining us on The Fight Is Right, Joe. Salute, Joe Long.
I look forward to the
in fact, Joe, where can people follow you? Was it Fighters Inc. at Fighters Inc. on Instagram, right?
Yeah, on Instagram we're at Fighters Inc. We've been promoting fight shows for 26 years now.
Yep.
And if you want to follow the UFC Gym UK story, we're at UFC Gym UK.
Okay. All right, Joe. Thank you so much for.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Big up, bro. Take care. God bless. Yep, that was Joe Long, and we've got seconds to jump out now. But I'm going to say this. I'm wishing everybody a fantastic, plum-pleasing week ahead. I want to thank the guests for jumping on the show. Today, Dave Lowell, the trainer of UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards, who came on. It's a shame that his Wi-Fi was a bit dodgy. He must have been using some Nigerian Wi-Fi that he bought from Tundi down in Peckham. But it don't matter because it was still there. My apologies for how the people weren't coming on, but that's something that we got to clear up as well. I got a big up Fight Fan TV, Willow More Fire, big up yourself. Alfie Black, thank you very much. Yoo-hoo, big up yourself. Mind Mastery Strategist, our sister from another mister. Leah O, my other sister from another mister. Too Blessed. There's too many people that's on there. So going to get some real names in for next week's show. It's going to be an exciting show next week. I want you to go to tune in. We're also going to do something in the week. We'll be grabbing some interviews to go catch up. More than likely, I'll be talking with Shakur Stevenson. There's been a change for his fight day. He was meant to challenge for the vacant WBC crown, but something's gone tits up on his side there. So I'm going to be grabbing a little young man because he's always a friend of the show, talking to him. As you know, Tunde Ajayi won't be joining me until the 24th of September. Baba Tunde Ajayi. I miss my brother, I ain't gonna lie to you, I miss him. But even when he's away, he still had to click on to go show me some love to get the guest in. So massive big up to everyone who tuned into the show. I hope that you lot have a fantastic week ahead. As my brother from another mother says, dream it, believe it, become it. Come on up. Peace, two fingers. I am out. Good night.